All right, let's finish these bubble frames. So I decided to paint them black. I had them silver like this back, but I really didn't like it. And of course, paint everything black. So I went ahead and did that. These are bubble glass frames, and these ones had the glass in them, so I was super lucky finding them. If you don't know what bubble glass is, it's a convex piece of glass that has a slight outward bubble to it. They were really popular in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The technique actually started out as mirrors and then became popular in portraits and art. So I cut out these backs. I used the template of the back that came with the frame. I cut out these wood backs with the Glowforge, and now I'm just trying to find a specimen that will work. All the ones that I wanted were too big and too tall. So here I'm just trying a bunch of them, and then I realized that the ring light I had on was making a horrible reflection, so I turned that off so you guys could see better. Most of these specimens are too small for these frames, I thought. That one, unfortunately, was too big, too small. That one was okay, but just kind of meh. And then I found the bark mantis, which looks awesome, and the leaf bug, which also looks awesome. So I decided to go with those two. So now I'm just going to pick a backing color. I love using the velvet. This is self-adhesive velvet. You can find this on Amazon. The link to my Amazon storefront is in the description, and it's also in my bio. Anyways, I thought gray, no, white, no. Of course, I went with black for the leaf bug. And red for the bark mantis I thought looked really nice. Love the lint roller. I use this all the time. It really helps when working with velvet, as that stuff sheds like a lot. So right now I'm just peeling the backs off and getting it stuck on there. Of course we want the spray painted black facing out. And now I just take an X-Acto knife and I just hold it close to the edge and I cut pretty hard. That's why I put down a piece of wood. The main thing with cutting the velvet like this is you want to make sure that you get cut all the way through. And if you don't pull it. It can mess up the fibers and make it really weird. And please excuse my placement here. I'm still getting used to my new ring light and camera holder. Anyways, so here you can see that it's stuck and I didn't cut all the way through. So you need to go back and actually cut that, because if you pull it, it can pull the fibers and really mess up the front and also make some pretty gnarly lint comes out of there. So yeah, I really love this red. There I have a little piece, and normally you would just pull that off, right? Don't do that. Cut it off. I have learned my lesson. So just keep in mind the cut does not have to be perfect. With these, nobody's going to see the edge anyways because it's going to be behind the frame. So here I'm just cutting out the other one, and sorry if you can hear my kids screaming in the background. So there we go. Now I have them both done, the black and the red, and I always lint roll a lot and lint roll a lot. So here I'm just trying to get the center. I misplaced my small rulers, so I'm using a yardstick and a quilting ruler here. Absolutely horrible. Do not recommend at all, ever. I ordered some new ones. They actually came in this morning. And I also got some gloves. I was out of gloves. All I had was my husband's size, which is extra large, and they don't fit my hands. But those came in this morning too. So finding center easily and keeping the specimen center is really hard for me, and it stresses me out really bad. I think I'm going to start marking the edges as well as the top just a little bit. So here I zoomed in so you can see how I cut the specimen out. I don't know if this is the right way or not. I'm not a professional. I'm just learning this stuff. So this is how I cut them out. If there's a better way, let me know, but I have yet to lose any appendages. I mean, of the bugs. Any of the bugs' appendages doing it this way. So this works pretty good for me. I just lightly move the X-Acto knife around the edge and it cuts that top cellophane off. If you push too hard, it bunches up the little piece of tissue underneath of it. So now I'm just using my trusty E6000, which I love that stuff. E6000 has a fantastic bond once it actually dries, but it takes a while to get there, so you have time to move stuff around, which is super handy for me. I do prefer the quickness of the super glue sometimes, but for placing specimens, I definitely prefer E6000 when they're laying down, because it allows me time to get them as centered as I possibly can. Here you can see me really nitpicking over it, but I want it to be as centered as possible. It's hard because they're not exactly symmetrical. So like you can see here, the bark mantis's right arm is a little bit higher than the left arm. So it's a little hard to judge sometimes, but I do my best. Anyways, I think he looks fantastic. He's all in there, perfect. Looks great. All right, so now I'm going to place the leaf bug. I zoomed in again so you can see this one. This one was super easy because the staples were just on the outside edge, so I just had to do 4 straight lines, but still I wanted you to see. Now, sometimes when you're taking them off, they can get stuck a little bit, so you have to be really careful. You can see here in a second when I try to get this specimen off, it did stick a little bit. I had to go in and just kind of push it off. Yeah, there we go. I had to loosen the back, but once I got that off, I got it going. I'm always worried that I'm going to break something, but I managed to do pretty good. So I just put the glue on the high spots because they are the spots that are for sure going to be touching the background. So again, I'm just trying to center this guy on there as good as I can. This one gave me a little bit more trouble than the bark mantis. Oh, and here I do take some of the one of the sheets off of the lint roller, and I will always just hand go in and get all the little spots off. But I think it turned out really good too. The only downside to using E6000 is sometimes it can have strings that come along with it, so you have to go in and kind of pull them out. That's what I'm doing here. I keep noticing little strings, but and then it's still off center. But yeah, I think they turned out really good. So I still have to put the fastener in the back to hold it in the frame. I'm going to do another video on that because I'm going to kind of try to do something a little different. It did just have nails into the backing holding it in, and I didn't like that. So anyways, these are going to go to Crypticon, and if they don't sell there, then they will be on the website, which you can find all those links in my bio and the description. Thanks, guys.